I hate having to talk about this stuff. What is up, Finn fans? So, something came up yesterday involving the Dalvin Cook situation, and I was going to talk about it. I wanted to get all my ducks in a row, and a lot of you guys wanted me to talk about it. And if you don't know about the allegations, I'm going to go through everything. I'm going to tell you everything that's going on. I'm going to give you all the information, and then you can come to your own conclusion. But before I jump into it, domestic abuse, sexual assault, all of this stuff, I hate it. Like, I hate it. The stuff with Deshaun Watson, 20 plus women. Now the allegations with Dalvin Cook. Now again, same thing I did with Deshaun Watson, I'm going to do with Dalvin Cook. Deshaun Watson, when the first news came out, I was like, let's see how, oh my God, there's more women. I'm going to give you all the information with Dalvin Cook, but I'm going to say this now. Same thing with Tyreek Hill. Same thing with Deshaun Watson. Same thing with Ben Roethlisberger. I have a little girl who's going to be 3 in December. I want to stay monetized because the things So I'm going to give you all the information on what's going on with Dalvin Cook's legal side of things, right? Does it affect the Dolphins? I'll talk about that at the end, like it really matters. But I'm going to give you all the legal side of everything. I got 2 different sources here. One of them is the Sports News. They go into great detail on his asking for $1 million to be exonerated from the alleged victim. And then I have some more information from NBC talking about what is going on, right? So I'm going to minimize myself so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about here. So this is from the Sports News. It says Dalvin Cook 2020 abuse allegation. Former Vikings running back reportedly offered ex-girlfriend $1 million to exonerate him. Dalvin Cook offered his ex-girlfriend $1 million to drop accusations of abuse against him, as reported by the Star Tribune Minneapolis. The Star reported on Thursday, according to since sealed court filings from Graceland Trimble, attorney, Cook twice offered her a sum of money. In return, she would clear then Vikings running back of any wrongdoing in regards to alleged domestic violence incident from 2020. According to the document, Cook initially offered Trimble $800,000 to settle the matter. In return, he asked her to sign a sworn affidavit denying any abuse claims, which she denied. The Star Tribune reported Cook followed it up with $1 million offer that required her to send a letter to the NFL absolving him of wrongdoings. Trimble denied both offers. She previously claimed Cook physically assaulted her in a domestic dispute in November of 2020. In the claim, she alleged Cook threw her over a couch and into a coffee table, resulting in severe injuries to her forehead and nose. Attorney Daniel Craig wrote in his filing that Cook's initial cash offer was not only evidence of crime, but also that it was admissible as evidence at trial. The offer could be used to show Cook tried to get Trimble to perjure herself by changing her sworn testimony, since she already had sworn under oath that he physically and emotionally abused her. This does not pass the smell test and can and should be admissible as evidence of Cook's consciousness of guilt, her lawyer said. Cook is a current free agent who has not signed with the team yet for the 2023 NFL season. So right there, you read that 100%, right? The $1 million to get, essentially he's trying to clear his name. And for a fact, if a lot of, these situations, if they settling kind of comes off like, I'm guilty. Let's not let this drag out more. Let's not drag my name through the mud anymore. I'm going to settle. So reading that 100% without even like looking into anything else, guilt. Like I'm reading that. I'm like, he's guilty. Let's keep going. Dalvin Cook's domestic violence incident explained. In November of 2021, Trimble filed a lawsuit against Cook alleging he physically abused her in an incident in November of 2020. He later filed a defamation suit against her. At the time, Trimble told the Star Tribune that Cook gave her a concussion, leaving a scar and taking her through hell, which is disgusting to hear. Per her lawsuit, Trimble flew to Minnesota on November 19th, 2020 to collect personal belongings from Cook's home. She entered through the garage, grabbed mace that she had previously kept there. Trimble alleges when she asked Cook for help gathering her items, he got angry, grabbed her, slung her whole body over the couch, slamming her face into the coffee table and causing her lower forehead and the bridge of her nose to bust open. The lawsuit alleges that after she was thrown into the furniture, Trimble attempted to spray Cook, but accidentally sprayed herself instead as he overpowered her, and then went to the shower where she alleges she was assaulted again by Cook. That just bothers me. Cook's attorney, David Valenti, has previously released a statement detailing Cook's account of the incident. So that was her account of the incident and what happened from her point of view. Now, this is what Cook's attorney is saying came from Cook's side of the incident. He claimed Trimble entered Cook's residence in Minnesota by using stolen garage door opener, and that when Trimble entered the premises, she punched Cook and sprayed him with mace, along with two of his house guests. Valiente said after that, Trimble sprayed Cook with mace a second time in the face before getting a forearm. It was then he claimed that she started forcing Mr. Cook and his guest at gunpoint to remain in the residence for the next several hours. Valenti claimed that Trimble suffered a small cut above her nose after Cook stopped her from trying to assault another one of the house guests. Valenti also claimed that for the better part of a year, Sergeant Trimble has been attempting to extort money from Cook following the incident. Here's a full statement from 2021 per Adam Schefter. Statement from Dalvin Cook's attorney. Oh, so this is the full statement. The lawsuit filed by Trimble includes texts between Trimble and Cook in which the running back apologizes for his actions. Trimble also included photos that allegedly were taken after the incident in which her face was cut and bruised. I do not want to see those images. Trimble's personal injury lawyer against Cook is set for trial next year, and Cook's defamation lawsuit against her is also pending. So that's just the one piece of evidence that is attached to the information about him offering her money to, say he didn't do it, right? Because you see her side of it, where she's saying that she just went in there to get her stuff. She brought mace to stay safe. He got pissed. He threw her over the couch, assaulted her, and then she sprayed herself, tried to get the mace off herself. He assaulted her again. His side of the story is that she came in with a stolen garage door opener, assaulted Cook, spraying him in mace and his guests, then spraying him in the face again where he elbowed her to get her off of him, and then held him and his guests at gunpoint, telling them to stay inside the residence. Two different extreme sides to that story. And then you have this from NBC, Dalvin Cook. Now, this is from June 20th, so this is from a month ago. Dalvin Cook is quietly scoring victories in his off-field legal case. So this is a month ago. So all of that story, so essentially the part about him bribing her just came out yesterday, right? It just came out yesterday that he tried to bribe her, or today. I'm going to release this video as soon as I'm done with it. It came out today. Everything else, so that second half I was reading to you about her story and his story, that came out when, they released the police report. So this is a month ago. This is June 20th. As free agent running back, Dalvin Cook continues his conventional search for a new team. He also continues an unconventional approach to being sued by someone who has alleged that he engaged in off-field misconduct. Cook has fought back relentlessly and aggressively against his accuser and her lawyers, and Cook to date is having plenty of success. The legal odyssey began in November of 2021, which I read all that stuff, when Graceland Tribble sued Cook for injuries arising from, based on amended complaint field in July 2022, an alleged incident of assault, battery, and false imprisonment in November of 2020. So that false imprisonment is essentially he kept her in his house when she wanted to leave. Cook later filed a counterclaim against Trimble, alleging invasion of privacy and defamation. And Cook has separately sued Trimble and her lawyer, Daniel Craig and Ann and St. Ament, and their firm, Eckel and Blondo LLP. While both cases still remain pending and necessarily could lead to variety of outcomes, Cook has scored some victories. On May 1st of 2023, which is 2 months ago, the presiding judge in the case against Trimble and her lawyer found that Cook may amend his complaint to seek punitive damages. The judge found that Cook had made a sufficient prima facie, lawyers love their Latin, showing that the action of the defendant demonstrated deliberate disregard for the rights and safety of others by clear and convincing evidence. Basically, the judge found that there's enough proof to support a finding that punitive damages would be appropriate if Cook prevails in the case and if the jury accepts the evidence as establishing deliberate disregard for the right and safety of others. So essentially what this is saying right here, because I'll get to the next stuff, what this is saying right here is if Cook wins the trial, if what he said in what I read to you before about her coming in and macing him twice and macing his people in his house and holding him at gunpoint, if what he says is true, then he can get punitive damages, essentially him suing her, him suing their lawyer for defamation and all that stuff. He can win all that stuff. That's what this paragraph is saying. May 1st court order lists the evidence Cook has introduced, including Trimble's medical records, text messages, Instagram posts, and an affidavit from a witness contradicting the notion that Cook was the abuser in the relationship with Trimble, video suggesting that Trimble was the aggressor on the date in question, and an admission from Trimble via text message that she was indeed the aggressor on the date in question. The judge concluded that Trimble and her lawyers had this information in their possession, and Cook made significant showing that Trimble and her lawyers either had knowledge of facts or initially disregarded facts that created a high probability of injury to the rights of others by clearing and convicting standard. So what this is saying is that Cook has evidence of medical records, text messages, Instagram posts, witness affidavits, so I'm assuming the people that were there that she allegedly maced, and video suggesting that his side of the story, essentially that she came in macing and held them to gunpoint, is true. That's what that paragraph is saying. The judge also concluded that Cook made a sufficient showing that Trimble and her lawyers deliberately proceeded to act with indifference to a high probability of injury by engaging in efforts intended to generate unfound negativity publicly in order to pressure Cook to settle. I'm going to read that one more time just so I can get it. Efforts intended to generate unfounded negativity publicly in order to pressure Cook to settle. Cook also secured in February of 2023 an order compelling disclosure by the lawyers of information regarding the financial demand made to Cook for settlement of Trimble's claim, communication among the lawyers regarding the effort to publicize Trimble's case, and more. Again, this happened a month ago, so this is nothing new, but this is new to me as I'm reading this. So essentially, what that says is Cook secured in February 2023 an order from Trimble's lawyer. Let me read it again. An order compelling disclosure by the lawyer of information regarding the financial demand made to Cook for settlement of Trimble's claim, communication among the lawyers regarding the effort to publicize Trimble's case, and more. So essentially, he has something showing proof that her lawyers wanted to settle, and if not, they'll make it public. Just last week, the judge handling the original lawsuit denied a motion for summary judgment on Cook's invasion of privacy and defamation countersuit against Trimble. It means that his claim against her will go to trial. So essentially, the judge was like, no, I'm not dealing with this. So that part is going to go to trial. It's an unusual approach by defendant accused of wrongdoing, and Cook is experiencing a rare degree of success. While many steps remain before he prevails, he has to date management to put Trimble and her lawyers on their heels regarding their decision, as the judge found in May 1st order. To proceed with efforts to try to squeeze a settlement from Cook, despite the possession of evidence that's seriously undermines Trimble's claims of wrongdoing by Cook. Again, everything eventually will be sorted out by the court system based on the development to date. Cook's efforts to defend himself against claims that he believes to be false are showing signs of success. It's a lot of information. So essentially on this, he, back in June 20th, he had a ton of evidence to say, I didn't do it, she was the aggressor, and his story is correct. I just want to read another version. So this is, again, Pro Football Talk, NBC, on the court filing and you know, essentially paying me $1 million to exonerate me. I want to give you different sources. So Dalvin Cook free agency potential will be, and this came out yesterday, 2 days ago. This came out July 20th. Giant ad. This came out July 20th, so this came out Thursday. Dalvin Cook free agency potentially will be complicated by developing and pending location. According to the Minneapolis Star Tribune, a court filing that has since been sealed contains that Cook's lawyers offered Trimble $1 million to send a letter to the NFL relieving Mr. Cook of any wrongdoing in connection with an incident that had prompted allegations of domestic violence against Cook. I'm trying to see if I can find anything different than I already read to you. The $1 million offered alleged Cook, and the $800,000, she said no. Trimble's lawyers want to use the settlement offer against Cook, obviously, because it kind of shows that he's guilty. Typically, settlement offers are never allowed to be introduced into evidence into a civil trial. That rule promotes the making of a settlement offers in an attempt to resolve civil claims without consuming unnecessary judicial resources. If settlement offers can be used as evidence, no settlement offer would ever be made. Regardless of whether the settlement offers are introduced during a trial in open court, the evidence of the settlement offers have made its way into the court of public opinion. The request for a letter to the NFL absolving Cook of wrongdoing suggests that Cook is concerned about punishment under the personal conduct policy. Throughout his free agency, there has been chatter in league circles regarding hesitation arising from the possibility of suspension. Again, Cook has denied all wrongdoing, and Cook has taken action against those who have made accusations against him. The settlement offer aimed at resolving all matters and allowing everyone to move on should not have been disclosed to the public, and it would be surprising if the presiding judge allows it to be used against Cook at trial. It's too late to unring the bell, however. The media has made its way. The story has made its way to the media, and teams that are already skittish about the issue won't be any less skittish about it now. That said, Cook's lawyer will, or at least should, try investigate how the document was unsealed before it was sealed and how it ended up in the hands of the Star Tribune. Cook's lawsuit against Trimble and her lawyer arise from efforts to leverage him to settle by weaponizing the allegation in media. Cook's lawyers quite possibly will now contend that the settlement offer has been improperly used to smear Cook as well. This whole situation is just, it's just, if you're a person who, innocent until proven guilty, at this point, your head is spinning. I just hate that another NFL, and I don't care. I don't care. If he never comes on the Dolphins, it doesn't, I've said this to you time and time again. I don't care. Would I like him before I knew about any of this? Would I have liked him to be on the Dolphins? 100%. But if he never came on the Dolphins, it is what it is. Our running back room's fine. I've said that to you time and time again. But what bothers me is how many names, how many players, how many people can we name of domestic or sexual assault? Keep your hands to yourself. I don't understand why certain men feel like they can hit a woman. But with Cook's situation, it's so like I read two different sources, but 3 different articles to you about the first one I read from the newspaper tells 2 different stories, her story, his story, and then him showing the proof, and now this where he thinks that this letter being released for him trying to cover himself so he doesn't get suspended because he has proof, and it's just, comment below. I want to know what you guys think. I want to get your guys' opinions. It's just, this whole thing is just, ugh. Why can't people just keep their hands to themselves? Comment below. Let me know. What do you think about all the information I gave you? What is your opinion on this situation? What's your thoughts? All I'm thinking about is my 2.5-year-old sleeping upstairs. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Comment below. Give you all the information. I told you I wasn't going to talk about Dalvin Cook unless he met with the team or signed with the Dolphins. And then this popped up. And I'm going back to that. I'm not talking about Dalvin Cook anymore. He has to go through the legal process. He has to go through trial. He has to go through all this stuff. It's not going to be an easy thing. It's not going to be a quick thing. He might not sign with anyone until the season starts, the way this is all panning out. So I'm not talking about Dalvin Cook anymore. He's not a Miami Dolphin. We got training camp. The vets are reporting on Tuesday. Monday, I got a video for you guys. I'm not talking about him anymore. Unless he visits or signs, I'm not talking about him anymore. Such a bad taste in my mouth on Friday night at 12:30. Love you guys. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Preview and training camp. Like usual, stay classy. My fans out.